Jai Ma Kamakhya, Jai Ma Tara, Jai Bhairava. So this is going to be a short video. This is specifically with respect to a question that very often comes in emails to me. So I will be, along with the other videos that I do, I will also be doing videos, dealing with questions, maybe one or two or three, not more than that, in a video, and answering them. Specifically those questions which are interesting, which are impactful, and which come from multiple people, because that means it's something that is causing difficulty in understanding, or specifically needs a clarity from so the question comes from multiple people, so therefore there is something that is bothering many individuals, upasakas. So the gist of the question is that somebody sent a mail mentioning another guru that individual had approached somewhere in some ashram, and then the individual was asked to pay certain money for Diksha, etc., and that did not, so it caused some kind of mental disturbance, and so the individual sent an email asking that is it correct to charge money for Diksha, as simply as that. There are many people, many places who charge money for Diksha. So the question that was asked is it allowed to charge money for Diksha? So what is the scriptural point of view? What is the traditional point of view? A simple one-word answer to this is yes, absolutely. Now, a little more elongated answer, a little more explanatory answer to this. So we have been fed with a lot of various ideas of great Mahapurushas who have had disciples from whom they never charged. If they found fitness in the Upasaka, then they said that, okay, I'm going to give you Diksha, and then train them in whatever ways. For example, Sri Ramakrishna never charged from any of his Shishyas any money for. In fact, he would never touch money. He had this thing that he could not touch currency notes, or I think paisa, something like this is mentioned in his biography. Similarly, we do have examples from various other gurus. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think as Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi, when anybody came to him for spiritual knowledge or any spiritual benefits, would charge from that individual. In fact, he might not have had any formal disciples for that matter. I'm not particularly sure. I have to read the books again. I had read them long back. But more or less, I don't remember reading about any monetary transaction that he had specifically with his Shishyas. So like this, there are many examples across India of great masters who never charged anything for any kind of spiritual discourse or for any kind of Diksha process from their disciples, specifically if they found somebody competent. And this therefore has translated into a cultural understanding among a lot of people that spirituality and money do not go hand in hand. So no Diksha is possible when there is a money that is charged. That automatically means that there is a commercial process happening, and therefore it is wrong. But this is not what the texts, and very categorically the tantric texts, mention. So there is a text, those who are interested in the Tara Upasana would have read, might have come across a text called the Tara Tantra. Just like that, there's the Brihad Nila Tantra and the Nila Tantra and the Tara Rahasyam. Similarly, there is the Tara Tantra. There are at least 5-6 different manuscripts of it available. But the one that is more popularly available in the market, Tara Tantra, anybody can pick up the text and go through it. It's a very small text. By the way, don't apply what is written in the text because it's a text for advanced upasakas. It is not to be and cannot be randomly applied by anybody. But in the manner in which Tantras describe Guru Shishya processes, because each Tantra will always have a chapter on Guru and Shishya and Diksha and all that. So it goes on to state that after the Diksha process, the Shishya should give everything that he has to the Guru. If he cannot give everything, then he should give half of what he owns. If he cannot give half, then he should give 1/4 of what he owns. If that is also not possible, then the Shishya should be offering, considering the times when the texts were written, should be offering a cow gold, and various other, material gifts that I mentioned, which a Shishya has to offer to the Guru after the process of the Diksha. And then it says that if these are not done, the Shakti that organically flows from the Guru to the Shishya, if the Guru is correct and the Shishya is correct and the Diksha has been correct, will be obstructed and will not come properly to the Shishya. That's a very interesting statement. Now, come not just in the case of Tantra Diksha, even in texts like, even in texts of Jyotisha, for example, it says that when you approach an astrologer, some of the classical texts, you should approach them with carrying a piece of gold, fruits, other things with you. So basically, the idea that there is an appropriate dakshina that is to be given for the process of diksha, appropriate is very important and key word here. Appropriate dakshina that has to be given for the process of diksha is already a well established process phenomenon across centuries in traditions. So there is no question that there's a diksha and there is a dakshina that has to be paid, and the dakshina is significant. It is not something very miserly or something just like you're offering to somebody just like that. No, not that. It should come, it should have a significant amount of value. It should be valuable to you. There are sampradayas where after diksha, in fact tantric sampradayas, a lot of them Kola sampradayas, where after diksha, within a period of 1 year, you have to offer a gold ring to the Guru. So, like this, there are various scriptural injunctions very clearly mentioned, which says what are the offerings that the Shishya should be giving to the Guru, so that the knowledge and the Vidya that comes from the Guru to the Shishya flows unobstructed. And when it says unobstructed, what it means is that the Guru feels satisfied. And when they feel satisfied, there is no hesitancy in giving or sharing with the Shishya. It also shows to the Guru that the Shishya is very keen to know, and not just keen to know, he values it. So whenever a thing comes for free, its value automatically reduces. So you take it for free, and then 2 days later you think that, oh, it may not be useful. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Etc. The moment you start paying for it, then you become a little bit more conscious of the fact that you have to use this properly. And fundamentally and eventually, the Vidya that comes from the Guru is actually priceless. There is no price tag that can be put to it. However, the Tantras still recommend that whatever is the best that you can do, that you have to do. So the mindset is not that I just give a minimum something and just get out of the situation. No, the Tantras say that you have to give to the best of your ability and not think about it. Because the moment if you give it in a grudging mind, then that dakshina is useless. At the same time, if you give just because you just have to bypass the process somehow, and just a minimum thing you can go and give and then get out of the situation, even then also it will not work. So only when the exchange is completely free, fair, and something that overwhelms the Guru, then the blessings can come from the Guru to the Shishya unhindered. It's a very human process. The Guru feels happy. The moment he or she feels happy on the Shishya, automatically there's a transmission of Shakti that will start happening. This is the logic that is mentioned in texts. In fact, yogis like Mahayogis like Sri Lahiri Mahashaya used to charge 5 rupees in that era from any Shishya uh, whom he would give a Diksha. And this was because the Mahavatar Babaji had told him that you have to charge 5 rupees. But having said all that, let me add another thing for completeness of this. So, charging money is not an issue. It is absolutely sanctioned by the texts. Anybody who thinks that Diksha has to be free, I'm pretty damn sure has never read a single proper text of these tantras, or the gone through the processes in which Diksha happens in very genuine and old sampradayas. Okay. But having said that, it is entirely the prerogative of the Guru to decide whether he wants to take Dakshina or not. He may or may not take Dakshina. He may decide that I don't want to take Dakshina from the Upasaka, and that is perfectly all right. That is the guru's job to decide. Sometimes it's possible that he or she may come meet an upasaka who is not financially capable of giving the dakshina in that case, but otherwise spiritually capable. So the guru may give diksha to that upasaka. In some cases, Lahiri Masha used to give to poorer people whom he used to give diksha. Sometimes he used to give a 5 rupee to them beforehand, few days beforehand, and tell them that during the day of the diksha, you give that money back. So it's as if formally completing the process, ensuring that the right person gets the diksha, and yet the process is not violated. The instruction that Babaji, the Mahavatar Babaji had given him is not violated. I think that's a very beautiful thing to do. The other thing in today's age is that, first of all, and something I've mentioned various times, not all gurus are perfect, not all Shishyas are perfect. Shishyas are never perfect, but unfortunately, a lot of the gurus are also not perfect. There is a whole lot of projection, and the reality is a little bit different. And this judgment, to understand the gap between projection and reality, it is the job of the upasaka. So therefore, I keep telling that do not rush into any diksha. Take your time, judge, observe, spend time interacting with other shishyas, get a clarity, is this the right person for you or not? Do not rush into dikshas. Very often you enter into a diksha. Getting a diksha is the easiest thing in today's world. There is like a supermarket of dikshas everywhere. But what after that? I get so many mails from people who claim they have taken diksha from here and there and then don't know what to do. That I do not entertain at all. I have clear instructions to my team that somebody who has diksha from somebody else and then asks that what should I do should not be replied, because it is disrespectful to the guru from whom you have taken diksha. These judgments have to be done beforehand. If you think that this is not going to work out, don't go into that process. But if you have taken diksha, then you stick to whosoever you have taken diksha, or you completely get out of that individual or of that system, of that sampradaya, or whatever it is. If you have taken diksha at a place and then you want to go and take advice from another place, you have to completely get out of the first place. You cannot keep your feet in 10 different places. That shows spiritual greed. And whenever there is greed in the soul, you will never succeed in sadhana. Make this very clear. Understand this very clearly. There is sometimes greed. I want more and more. थोड़ा सा इधर भी कर लेता हूँ, थोड़ा सा उधर भी कर लेता हूँ. You are never going to succeed. That is cheating one's own self. So therefore, at the end of the day, there is no harm in taking money, but you have to make your own decision whether the individual is right, whether the diksha that you are planning to take is whether the dakshina is proportionate to the diksha, and along with diksha, whatever else you are going to learn, whatever time you are going to spend, is it the right thing? Is it the right investment? Think of it this way. Think of it like you're buying something, because the world has changed today to this state that you have to judge the guru just as the guru is judging you. Only then you will know that is this the right thing, is this the right investment in my spiritual journey. It's better to do the analysis beforehand than to first take the diksha and then after a few months don't know what to do, right or left, and then run around to other people and ask for help. That is a very, very bad idea. So you do the judgment beforehand. You see if this look at it in a very fair manner, like an exchange of energy. So if the individual asks for XYZ amount of money, if you think that it is suitable, go ahead. If you think it is not suitable, don't go ahead. End of story. There's nothing more to it. Connected to this, people keep asking me whether I give Diksha or not. I do give Diksha, but only to a very, very selected handful of people. I don't charge anything for the Diksha, but then I take a certain kind of commitment and an observation before the Diksha, which is far more tougher than just paying some money and getting a Diksha. And it's actually not open for everybody, so there's no point much talking about it. But these advices are only for all the people who keep asking, mailing, that whether it's appropriate to charge money. In terms of shastras, yes, it is appropriate. In terms of precedence, absolutely appropriate. We have precedence of of somebody of the caliber of Lahiri Mashis to charge 5 rupees in that era. I don't know what conversion rate it would be in today's times, but I think it's pretty high. So then it's perfectly all right to charge money. And it is also the prerogative of the Shishya to decide if the money is appropriate or not. Whenever there's money involved in any spiritual process, remember this: that there is a chance of greed that can come in. Whenever you're paying for something, it is good to also understand that is it worth it or not. That judgment you are perfectly uh, within your rights to perform. You cannot completely shut down common sense and just keep paying. That also happens, unfortunately. I get mails from people who entered into a process of Diksha and everything looked fine, but after that, the demands keep increasing from the Guru for more money, and then it becomes an absolute mess. If at any other point you find there are these kind of hidden clauses that comes in and that makes you uncomfortable, you are perfectly within your rights to ditch such a guru and such a system and go starting looking for others. But remember, when you break out of somebody, then you do a very clean break. Don't linger on, don't put little bit here and little bit there. Then you will be messing up everything, and nobody has the time to entertain uh, people who harbor that kind of greed in their souls. It's a symptom of greed, spiritual greed, that I want a little bit here while I have moved on. Nature has given the indication that I should go somewhere else, but still I can't leave a bit of coming back to the old system and doing the new system. And so it becomes a khichdi actually, and just too much effort that is required from the guru to fix such an individual. So therefore nobody would preferably try, and uh, most people would try and avoid that type of individuals. So that clarity has to be there. So I think that kind of settles the answer. So yes, charging money is perfectly all right, and yes, it is perfectly all right for the shishya to decide that if the money that is being paid is worth it or not. If they find that it is not worth it, you can do the judgment beforehand itself. You're completely within your rights to say that no. And even after having a diksha, if there are more demands for money and you feel that those are inappropriate demands and those are things that you cannot handle, those were not told beforehand, then it's also perfectly all right to say no. Do not be under the compulsion that the guru has asked, therefore blindly you have to keep giving. No, there is no perfect guru in this age. Take this in writing. If you're an upasaka, write it down and pin it on your wall. There are no perfect gurus. No perfect gurus are going to come to you. Never ever. You are imperfect, your guru is going to be imperfect, maybe a little less imperfect than you. So in that sense, you cannot give up your common sense. Keep your common sense intact. If at any point you find that there is an uneven interaction that is happening, you get out of that system. Keep doing the sadhanas of the deities, because the deities are eternal and the deities never leave you once you reach a certain stage of the sadhana. That's all for now. Jai Ma Kamakhya, Jai Ma Tara, Jai Bhairava.